Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Samantha Perry. And beautiful day today. And I heard through the room wheels, this is going to be the hottest day of the year. I can't imagine it being hotter than it's been the last few weeks. But Samantha, with that said, we're off the turf. They got a lot of rain here last night.
Yeah, we did, unfortunately. But the good news about that is there's still the Tapeta and a lot of those races held together in big fields today. A lot of options, and the Rainbow Six is just growing.
Yeah, and Hallandale Beach was always on the main track. And, you know, I saw on Twitter, how could you have a fast track? And, you know, the track dries out here so fast, the main track.
Yep.
The turf, not the case. You know, after that rain last night, safety first. So a lot of people asking that question. That is it. It's, as I said, very, very warm here in South Florida. What a shock, right? So let's check out what's going on. I think 250 in the Rainbow Six today is the estimate. There you see 250,000.
Yep, and it should be right at that or comfortably over, and excited to see your ticket a little later.
Yeah, I got an interesting ticket today. Took some, went a little deeper in those races that came off the turf, you know what I mean? So we'll see how it plays out. First race today is one of those races that's not going to be on the main track. I mean, on the turf, excuse me. It's going to be 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, and they're maidens, and you have a ticket you wanted to show.
I do. I've got the early pick 5 ticket here today, and it paid really well yesterday. I've got a $54 ticket. I don't have a single early run. I had trouble with this sequence. Race 2, I do have the 8 on top, Holy Kingdom. Race number 3, I've got the 1 on top, In It for Love. Race number 4, I have the 9 on top, and in race 5, the 9 also on top. I lost some top picks today, Ron, that made my tickets a little bit more tricky to take an opinion.
Yeah, I had, we were talking just before it came on the air, of the 11 races, I think I had changes in 6 of them. So, you know, that's why we make those quick adjustments and we do studying. But you know what, a lot of the races, like you said, that were on the turf going to Tapeta, there's a lot of horses that ran well previously on the Tapeta. So it's not that you're going to go, oh, my God, it's going to be a 2-horse field or 3-horse field like you see that. So with that said, this first race, as I mentioned, maidens, and they are fillies 2-year-olds. And we did have some scratches of the 4, the 6, and the number 9. And that is because, I guess, the move to the all-weather Tapeta. Samantha, I always had the 3 Sweet Stash on top, and I thought this horse would run well on the turf. It comes off that second for Rohan Crichton, so I kept this one on top of my ticket, even though the move to this different surface.
Yeah, and she was defeated by her stablemate last time out, too. So, and Bad Gal Party ran quite well. So I don't see any reason why, with another race under her belt now and a quicker start than she had last time, she should be a lot sharper today.
And you have the number 7 horse, Golden Valley, on top of your ticket, Rodolfo Garcia, first-time starter. And what did you see with this horse?
Well, this is an interesting horse, Ron, because we're going to get a new jockey here to come ride this horse, and that's Carlos Olivero. And this is a jockey that I know from Monmouth when I was there, but these works on the Tapeta, these are blazing quick, and we usually see horses work fast on the Tapeta run, and I don't have anything, sneaky here. The barn is not that great with first-time starters, but I love the works in the AM.
Yeah, that 46-2 is really motoring in there. Then, you got the 3 in second. Then the other horse that I had some interest in was the number 5. It's also from Rohan Crichton, and, it's just one of those horses, that's been working well. You get an MSCL Jaramillo in the saddle. You would think that they wanted him to maybe get this horse interested early, so it's going to be interesting to see how the pace plays out. But you sort of got to do your homework and go back and maybe give this race a second look with the move to the surfaces. We'll flip the page and we'll go to race number 2. This one is 6.5 furlongs. We got a scratch in here of the number 5, 1 for Deris, and I believe you have a ticket in here.
Yeah, it's just a run back of the pick 5, so I could just tweet it out, guys. We don't have to show it here, but a few of these exiting the same race, Ron.
And your top pick was the number 8, I believe, Holy Kingdom in this race. One of the horses I used, I have in second, and I thought it was a logical contender, just getting beat that neck last time out.
Yeah, well, let's show the replay here because the horse you have on top is the one who was also in this race here. I thought that these horses ran very, very well. Miss Cashman actually ran huge, and we see Holy Kingdom not until the very end. So Holy Kingdom is coming there. She is. Thank you so much, guys. And I love the way she was just motoring home late. I don't like the fact that she's going to cut back just a little bit, Ron. But I do like the fact that she just showed so much interest late, and she's the one I want from that race.
Yeah, she ran very well in the latter stage of the race, and I think after the wire, she might have been in front.
She was, yes, big time. Yeah.
You know, I went with Shiloh, turning back to the 6.5 furlongs, which I think is actually going to help this horse this afternoon.
Yep.
If you just go and look at the end, got a little leg weary in the stretch, going 7/8 of a mile, and once again, you get Nemesis El Jaramillo, so that makes you think that Shiloh's going to run a little bit better.
Right.
And I used Holy Kingdom for all the reasons you just mentioned and shown actually.
Yes.
The third race is going to be a 1.16 on the Tapeta. Their claim is for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and upward, which had never won 3, and there's lots of conditions in this race. Scratch the 2 Spites per Comandante, I believe it is. Well, it's the number 2. Yeah, looking down, it's all one big word. And the number 6, this one I got Cartano. And I thought that while you went with the one, let's start with In It for Love.
Well, I did scratch into this horse here. I think that this horse tried really hard, which you like to see for the Gerald Bennett barn last time, and that was coming off just a couple months rest. So I think the fact that he can run that well just off of a little bit of a freshening, he fits at this level. We'll just see how it plays at the break.
Yeah, and that was going along in the Tapeta. Exactly. Like you said, when you come back, that's tough to do. I went with the number 7 horse, and then it's Gooch Cobra, and you can just see why. Hey, beaten favorite in a couple of races. I think 2 or 4 or something like that the last couple of times. So, you got to take this with that into consideration. Maybe it's better to go for a horse like your one than the 7. I put it on top, but with a little trepidation in there. And it's Embassy Al Jaramillo again. So he better have a fantastic day, or I'm not going to have any winners today. That's I'm just looking down. That's like the 3rd horse, I believe, that he's on top that I ride. And I sort of had to change a little bit in here. I had the 7 horse on my ticket. 6 horse, excuse me on my ticket a little bit. And, maybe you look at the number 3 in there, Wicked Genius, who can run well for Rowan Crichton. Not a bad race last time out that you could key off. Maybe for Exacto try. You just look, got that 68 buyer, puts it in the hunt with this level of competition. Right. Going to the 4th race now, this one was originally scheduled for the turf, going to be run at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's maidens, and these are 2-year-olds. We have a scratch, only one scratch, which is the beauty of the Tapeta, the number 3, Oasis Prince, and we're going to have the tropical Tapeta pick 3 now instead of and it starts in race number 4, and here's Samantha's ticket.
It's 4, 6, and 11 here. I went skinny just because of the circumstances of being off the grass. Race 6, I feel like this is the horse to beat now, Iron Man Jimmy for Joe Orsino, and in race 11, the finale. We'll get to it in a little bit, but the 4 on top for me, For the Love of Art. This is a tricky finale, especially with the surface switch here.
Yeah, I got the same 2 horses. The 4 and 6 in that race, and the 12 is going to run well. I had some, I was a little worried about the post, but I can understand it's last race. We're going to show it. I believe was it a turf race? We're still going to show it. I think. So getting back to this 4th race, there are a lot of different ways you can go, and you did go with the number 9 horse on top. So we'll start with Encanto, then we'll show that the replay. Well, you got a couple of replays in here, I believe.
Yeah, we do, and we can just get to them as we do. But Encanto, we've got the exacta the same here. Comes off those Saratoga races. This is a course that this horse is familiar with already. Obviously, this horse has never been on the Tapeta before, but I like the post here today. And, if you're running at Saratoga, if he put this horse in at Saratoga and the horse had a lot of traffic, it's good to see this horse here.
Yeah, I actually went back and looked at that race. Went back and seen him. He was in the stretch. He wasn't going to win the race per se, but he did have some traffic problems. And when he got cleared, the horse started to run a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And you make a great point, just dropping down, coming here. I think the horse is going to run well. Now, one of those videos you wanted to show was the horse that you have, what is in 3rd, and that's Sneaky.
Sneaky. I wanted to show this Breeze here because this is an expensive son of Adios Charlie, $120,000 purchase. Wow. Now, This horse worked 20-4 here, and it was early, 67 degrees, so pretty swift for this. Took him a little bit to switch leads. This horse has a long stride. I like this a lot. This is a big horse, too, when you just look at his walking video, but I think he's going to need longer. Dave Brady, I think, has a nice horse here, but this is going to be a starting point for him. But I think underneath, you should pay attention to that horse.
Well, the horse we have in second is the number 5, St. Cloud, and along with Gallant Knight in that particular race, we'll show it.
Yeah, we will, because they tangled last time. They finished second and third against each other, and I think it was an interesting race because Gallant Knight was very sharp from the gate and just was like a little bit of a rocket here and then spit it out at this point. But St. Cloud, aren't you supposed to win from this spot, Ron? You know, it looks like this horse is just supposed to draw away and just couldn't get it done.
And front end comes up and
Yeah.
scores in there. And, you know, we'll see how that race. I mean, I'm both of us went with Encanto for the reasons we're showing you in these other races. Now, I like that work. I did not use that horse, but I like that work. You're right. It was a big horse, but it was moving through the stretch really nicely.
And
so
that was on the Tapeta, so that's a good sign.
that's a good sign. So we'll see how that plays out. That is race number 4, and one of the races that, you know, we showed you the Tropical Tapeta pick 3, so make sure you're aware of that. Going to race number 5, it's 1 mile and 70 yards. These are claimers 3-year-olds of 4 and up, which have never won 3 in life. Scratch the number 2, Ice Kicker in here, and I started it off with the number 4 Bandero. I thought this was the logical contender in the race. You know, moves to the Bobby DeBona barn after the claim, hopes to get away from the starting gate in a timely manner. Last time, you know, he had his head turned. I went back and I tried to look. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
I looked a couple of times, wasn't that bad. But I want to show you a stat, and this is sort of a stat that I was a little surprised with. He's only 4 for 30. That's first after claim to Peter Roots in the last 5 years. He's in the money 53% of the time, but only $1.19 ROI.
This is interesting.
Yeah, I found it so interesting when I went in. I thought it was going to be 30% or something like that. You know?
Yeah, I think if you change that to sprints, I'm sure it would just triple, but or double. But as far as Bobby DeBona with claiming, he's very good at the claiming game, but that's a little bit of a weakness in the barn is the stretching out.
And it's good to show that. One where I mean it's my top pick, and I'm still showing you stat that maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about silent and violent? Sort of like Samantha is when I make a mistake on the air.
Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that this horse was pretty game. That day, it was a gate-to-wire winner. Nobody was going to make up any ground. It was just a very warm day, and I think pay attention to that today, Ron, right?
Yeah.
Because especially when it's very warm like this, the front runners, it doesn't matter how fast they're going, they tend to hang on. And silent and violent can never get by, but this horse has a lot of class, and I like that.
That's a great point that you make with with that horse. And then you have the number 1 horse in here, and that's one of the horses. I had Ice the Kicker in second, so I bumped up the number 1. You had it in third, and that's where you originally picked it. But I think this horse can run well. Hey, River, what has he got? Speed. Tons of speed on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. This is the horse to really worry about now here, especially with the way, you know, the weather's going to play today.
Yeah, and there's no guess of what he's going to do. He's going to go to the front, especially from the inside post. He can get brave, certainly on the front end. You know how that works out. And then maybe you throw in the 7 horse a little bit, Belly of Jelly. And Belly of Jelly, you know, Herbie Miller, it's one of these horses that, to me, clunks up and grabs a share.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket. We got $250,000 guesstimate in the pool. We'll see how it plays out.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Samantha. And Samantha, we had some rain last night. If you're just joining us, and we are off the turf, but we have really nice races on Topita. And when we talk about it, like the one we'll start, the Rainbow Six, and we got one scratch in the body of the race, so we got 11. No one defects, so that's good. Here's my ticket today, and I went a little deep in the opening leg here. My best bet of the day is in race number 7. It's Iron Hand. We're going to stat. We'll show you on that. In race number 8, I just used the 4 and the 5 there. My top pick being the 5. Beastly speed, but I think Go Billy Go. That one might bounce, so I wanted to use Go Billy Go on the ticket. In race number 9, I went a little deep here in this race because I went back and I thought maybe the 10 had a shot. It was the morning line favorite, so I wanted to add it. But my top pick is the 5. Caldron Settlement. In race number 10, that's the Hallandale Beach. Really nice race there. I mean, it's all Andrea. Does Andrea win it for the top connections? Or do you get a horse like the Miss Mary Nell that came back? I almost wanted to use the other Jenna Antonucci horse. I find that horse interesting. Who won the Astoria. In race number 11, we had the scratch and moved to a mile 70 yards. I'm in agreement with you, the 4 and the 6, and I think they're still the ones to beat.
Yep, definitely. It's a nice ticket here. I think today's a day for you, Ron.
Yeah, I went back, and I just it wasn't totally, enamored with this race after the mood. Ironman Jimmy certainly is the one to beat in here.
Yep.
We're going to go back. We'll show you the video of Ironman Jimmy, and the only thing I had that I didn't like was the post. So, to be honest, he's not on top.
Exactly, and that's fair here. It is kind of hard to work out a trip. I think that it's a little bit better on the Topita because he's got a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of time, but enough time. But he ran really big here in this race. I mean, he's the only one he wanted here. But what's key from this race, and I could have shown his Topita race last out, the jockey lost his whip. Lionel Reyes lost his whip this race on the inside battling. So that makes a big difference here. I know that was on the grass, but still on the Topita. This horse runs very well and has a win on the Topita.
Yeah, when you look to his last start, actually, he's, he ran well. He was up there, dueling for the lead. I'm not dueling, but on checking the pace, and he finishes fourth behind Billy DeGreco. I think came back and won yesterday, or am I making that up?
He ran yesterday, but forget what he finished.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he didn't win. I just remember
Yeah, but
Billy
he did run
DeGreco.
yesterday.
He did run yesterday. So I did here's my long shot of the day, and it was for the turf. It was the number 5 horse here, Sting Music. And, I thought going to the turf, this was going to be a sneaky horse. And, just off that maiden win last time out, going long. I don't know if this horse is going to be a big bit of a price on the Topita this afternoon. We'll see how it plays out. Elizabeth Dobles, Edgar Perez, Surface Switch was where I was going with the long shot. That didn't work out. We'll see what this horse pays. 5 horse on top. What's his morning line? Even though 6-1.
Yeah.
6-1.
That's fair. I think you'll get that.
And what about the number 8 horse in here?
The 8 Immense Faith. I didn't like the Topita race at all last time. The race 2 back was a lot better. I don't know. This is a horse now. I like the barn, but 0 for 9 on the Topita, maybe an underneath use.
Yeah, Ron Coy, he had a very good summer here, and just under the radar, but he ran exceptionally well. And that's why I went deep. You can use the number 10 Intolerable somewhere on your ticket, which we both did. So I think race number 6, starting off the Rainbow Six, is really intriguing. Thus, for me to go 4 deep in there. Race number 7 this afternoon is 7 furlongs, and this is a state-bred 2-year-olds. There's no scratches in here, and interesting to see your ticket in here.
Yeah, this is a good sequence, too, and I like the Hallandale Beach Stakes. This is an $18 play for me, so not as much as the early, but I have some opinions. Race 8, I'm just singling the 5 Beastly Speed. This is my best bet today. Race number 9, the 4 on top for me unequivocally. Race number 10, the 8 on top, Mom's Martini. And in race number 11, I've got the 4 on top for the Love of Art, $18.
I like that Mom's Martini pick. I didn't use that one. I have to go back and check it out.
Yeah.
Getting back to this race, I will start it off with the number 9 Iron Hand because it's my best bet this afternoon.
Okay.
Stretching out the additional half furlong today, rallied to finish 3rd. Going 6.5 furlongs. I want to show you a stat on Jose D'Angelo about this move, just what he's doing here today. So there it is. It's 2-year-old, second career start, sprints over the past 5 years. Solid, 10 for 50,
Very
20%. Good. It's a big sampling, 58% of the money. And you sort of knew the return of investment would be lower. They bet him a lot. But
they do.
I just thought This is where I hang my hat today as far as my single goes in the Rainbow Six.
I like it. Well, let's show the replay, too,
Yeah.
because he ran really well, Ron. I think that you've got a good one here. He made a really exceptional middle move. Now, Lou is just doing his thing. I don't know what to do with Lou anymore, but Iron Hand was a little green trying to get to switch leads, but Edwin Gonzalez got him, and then he kind of just packed up with Let's Go Liam. But he made up a lot of ground. Look at how much dirt he took.
Yeah.
When these 2-year-olds pass horses, I think that's very significant, and he ran well here.
Yeah, he ran well there, and you would just, with the stats,
He's gonna get
second
better.
starts, they're 20%. He's going to get better. You would think he's going to get better, use them. But you did have the number 8 Bluff on top of your ticket.
Well, this horse exits a main track race where the track was sloppy. This horse did not break quickly at all, but it just kind of looked like his wheels were spinning in the mud. So I'm excited to see him on a fast track today. That's the main move here, because I think he's much better than he showed on debut, and I'm willing to forgive that because I don't think he liked the mud.
I love the name of the horse, Lou, just like that. But, boy, you're right about that. You never know what you're going to get from Lou.
No, Lou looks like one that might be, it will be forever maiden. I don't know. Maybe Carlos David can get him turned around here, but that's a big maybe.
The 5 excuses, you would think this horse will want to save more for the stretch drives after prompting the pace. He finished 4th behind Lou last time out, and it's Amador Sanchez. He's got a $3.58 return of investment. Maidens making their second start. He doesn't do it well, but when they do it, they pay, I guess is the easiest way to say that. Going to race number 8 this afternoon. It's a 1-mile event. The main track is fast. Allowance optional claimer. Late pick 4 for you.
I'll tweet it out. It's a run back of mine.
Run back?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Beastly Speed. Absolutely, totally don't want to beat. And he's going for 3 consecutive victories in a mile. And he claimed his horse from Sappy Joseph and improved by 8 lengths.
Yeah, it was impressive. What a huge race last time. This horse is undefeated going this 1-turn mile distance. I think this is just the absolute perfect spot. He moves in with State Breds today, and he's won against Open in his last 2.
Yeah, so certainly the one to beat. And then you got the number 2 horse you might want to use in there, Major King, who, could run well here. You got him on your ticket. He's making his first starts and proving he could compete at this level. They claimed him for 8. They stepped him up. He ran with these guys. He finished 3rd, so why not run well today? Another horse that, the race goes through Beastly Speed. But here's the one. I got to mention Go Billy Go in here. I just thought Go Billy Go had a chance. He showed improvement when stretching out last time to the mile, but it's hard to gauge if it was the sloppy conditions, added distance, what made him improve last time out. He gets the decisive test this afternoon.
He does, yep.
Can you think Beastly Speed could bounce?
He could. That was a huge effort last time, but I'm going to just keep riding with Bobby.
I'm going to go with Billy. You're going with Bobby on that race.
Billy
I got Billy in second.
Yeah.
I got race number 9 this afternoon. There's going to be 7 furlongs. These are claimers 3 and up. Never won 2 races. Scratched the 1 in here, which was my top pick. I went with Cadron Settlement after that.
Okay, that was a horse that I added in late. I had the 4 on top. Let's watch the replay because I thought that this was a big effort from this horse after just plunging down now to the $8,000 level for Antonio Sano. And I'm a Peppa's in this race as well, just kind of picking up some ground. Unequivocally, just kind of I feel like had the worst of this because he was the one that made the first run on Woke Up Quick. You were not going to catch Woke Up Quick by any means, but unequivocally ran really good here. Now, I'm a Peppa. Yeah, okay, this horse is picking up some ground late, but it wasn't as impressive the fact that unequivocally was the one hounding the winner the whole time.
Yeah, and that winner was 1-5.
Exactly,
so, you expect that the horse was going to run well in there, so very interesting there. And then you got the number 10 horse in there, and that's Bold Looker. This is the one that confused me. It's the morning line favorite in here. I just couldn't see what kind of trip this horse was going to have.
Hopefully a trip where he runs.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mean, I'm a little confused with this being the morning line favorite. I could be totally wrong.
Well, I guess it's the class drop, and on the dirt, who he was facing at Saratoga and in New York was way tougher, but you don't know where his form is right now.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever, you got him having on there. And then once again, I went 4 deep in my Rainbow Six for that exact reason that we were just talking about. We're going to go to our feature race of the afternoon. It's the Hallandale Beach, and this one is for fillies, 2-year-olds. A really nice race. There's no scratches in here. And we're going to show Mom's Martini video, the one you have on top.
Yeah, Mom's Martini. This was a really game race. It was in the slop which already is hard in general, because you don't, when you're you're debuting a first time starter and you've got all these extra conditions, it can be tough. But the way that this horse, she got covered up of horses, and then she moves out and passes horses. I said that earlier. When you pass horses, that is huge at this age, and she just ran down these winners in a very impressive fashion. And I think she knew where the wire was. She knew what she needed to do to get done, and she got it there. It was really nice.
And she's bred to get the mile, that's for sure.
Exactly.
The one-turn mile.
Yep.
And, you know, the big horse in there, of course, is Andrea. And we're going to show you a replay of her last performance, too.
Yeah, that was wow for her. She ran they paid 105 for her, and she worked beautifully. This is one that there's not going to be, I think, a question of her tactics, Ron, as it's going to be to go to the front. She's going to stretch out. You know, this is the interesting thing about this race is a lot of these horses have never taken the mile before, so now they're going to get it. How are they going to run? But the way Andrea leveled off in the stretch here, that was
pretty good.
Very impressive.
Well, let's show you a stat with Sept Joseph Jr. And, you know, sort of just the little window dressing here. This is 2-year-old second-time starter, sprint the route. He's 32%, 50% in the money. You know, you knew it would be good, but I wanted to show it. So that's
really
second-time starter, sprint the route over the past 5 years. And like I said, it's sort of window dressing because it's Sept Joseph
right,
Jr.
Exactly.
And MSCL Jaramillo run it. I guess Edgar's out of town today.
Yes.
So that's it. So that's race number 10, and that is a really nice race now. But I want to talk about another horse in that race, and that's Miss Mary Nell. This one's cutting back to the one-turn mile on the main track. Why do I like this? Because you don't find it in the daily racing form. But 7.5 furlongs in the turf is a route race here.
It is.
So this one horse proves to me he can get the mile. You had just mentioned a lot of these horses, can they get the distance?
Yep.
This horse got a mile, and 7.5 furlongs, it's about a mile, going 2 turns on the turf. That's what I liked about it.
And at Gervin, too.
Yeah.
That now you're getting, theoretically, your preferred distance. And all along, it could have just been the fact that the horse needed more ground. It wasn't necessarily the turf. It was just the more ground.
Yeah, right. So, now I'm only going by the fact that this horse can get the distance,
exactly.
Not because it's turf. Now, here's the interesting horse that we both use, and that is what in the literal, interesting thus far. It's the daughter of Lord Nelson. Wins the Astoria Stakes at Saratoga at Belmont, whatever it was called, as a maiden. Comes back, boom, runs, dumps the rider in the Schuyler Village, comes up empty in the Adirondack. Bullet work.
Yeah.
What do we get today?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, this is a tricky one because now she's going to ship here to run. You know, she could be really good or not that great. Was it just a one-hit wonder with the Astoria? I like the fact that Jose Morelos and Jenna Antonucci have just formed a nice partnership riding-wise, and they bring home some bombs sometimes.
This is the one I left out of my Rainbow Six. I only went 1-5, and this is the one that
you would add.
Yeah, I wanted to add, but the ticket would have been like $75 or something like that. But just so interesting.
Yeah.
The last race this afternoon was originally scheduled for a mile on the turf. Now to be run that mile to 70 yards in Topeka. It's a maiden claim. Is 3-year-olds in the upward scratch, the 2, the 3, and the number 5 horse in that race. And like you, I just thought, the drop from Mark Casse was going to be the logical thing, albeit we thought it would be on the turf. But this horse never tried the Topeka, so we'll see what happens.
But has been on the Topeka here in the mornings. The last 3 works have been on the Topeka, so that's a good sign here. This horse has class. Where have you been lately? You've been gone for over a year now. That's a bit suspicious, but you got to use this horse.
Well, my long shot, as I mentioned, is a little earlier on, and that is, Sting Music. And look who ran second to Sting Music, Rapscallion. So maybe this horse comes back if Sting Music wins. Maybe you go Rapscallion, whatever that means. You go and bet a little bit more money on it. So, I think we got the logical 2 there, 8 and 10, follow. We actually have the same super. So, as we did, we used the 4 and the 6 on most of our exotic tickets. Yeah. So, that's how we see the 11 race card. We're going to show you our lightning round now, and then we'll be off to the races.
Literally. So we're going to start it off with bourbon and barbecues going on today. So
we'll be up there checking it out, the barbecue part.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. We got to keep you away from the bourbon. But, make sure to come check it out if you're around and you don't know. You can get tickets at the door here, but it started at 12, so come enjoy.
And it's always packed. And
Always.
always a lot of
And
fun. There's a lot of
delicious.
people that have a great time up there. You get to sample all that bourbon. The California Crown just around the corner.
It is, yep, and tickets are on sale if you're out there with our sister track, Santa Anita, September 28th. It'll be an exciting day of racing, and if you want to make a trip to Santa Anita.
Oh, you will be making a trip to
I
Santa
will.
Anita. You
Very
will be there,
excited.
and we will be doing some tickets here back
Yes,
in South Florida.
we got a $2 pick 6 now at Santa Anita again, and that's interesting. They're doing a late $5 double at Santa Anita this meet. A lot of new wagering activities for Santa Anita.
Well, that's very good. Makes it more interesting.
Yes.
Now, your best bet this afternoon.
It is Beastly Speed.
Beastly Speed.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. Look. What about my best bet today, and why am I saying we're back Iron Hand 5-2? I think it's going to run well in there,
Yeah.
and your long shot.
It was in the first race and scratched.
Oh,
so.
scratch. So
Yeah.
my long shot is that Sting music, but I don't know what the price is going to be now with the move to the Torpedo, but we will see. So Sting music, do you like Sting's music?
I do like Sting's music. Do you do
Pretty
too?
good. Yeah, I do. I do like
Yeah.
Sting's music.
You're more a police guy, though.
Yeah, well, the police were good.
Yeah.
Roxanne. Well, you don't want to hear me sing. We're going to turn it over to Peter Aiello. He's going to give you all the changes that you need to have a winning day, and we'll be back throughout the whole afternoon.